Hi, friends. Let's take a look at what's happened so far in 2025 before it gets stuffed into the memory hole. January started off with a bang, literally. January 1st, there was a Tesla truck that exploded in front of the Trump building in Las
Copy.
Vegas.
I just heard a boom.
Also on January 1st, a train car was stopped in Idaho due to an explosive device found on a train car. Then we jump to January 5th. That's when the U.S. got its first storm of the year. It lasted for a couple of days. January 6th was when Trudeau announced his resignation. Under growing pressure from his own party, he announced he will step down after the party selects its next leader through a robust nationwide competitive process. Interesting. Moving on to the 7th. That's when Zuckerberg said Facebook and Instagram would be removing the Minister of Truth, third party fact checkers, and would be replaced with community notes to help address the perception of bias. January 7th was also the day the wildfires broke out in Los Angeles. Winds picked up around 8 that morning, and by 10:20 the first smoke from wildfires was spotted. A lot's been destroyed since the multiple fires started.
In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers.
On January 10th, 10 days before he took office, again, Trump was in court to face sentencing for 34 convictions of falsifying business records in the first degree, all Class E felonies. He was given a sentence of unconditional discharge. January 9th through the 11th, we had the second storm of the season with over 14 inches in Arkansas. By January 10th, results taken from that mysterious fog from different parts of the country started to come in from independent labs, all coming back with the same results. Is 2025 the new 1950? Moving on. On January 15th, the FDA banned red dye number 3 from food, drinks, and ingested drugs, only 30 years, 3 decades, after scientists discovered links to cancer in animals. Manufacturers have plenty of time to figure it out. They have until 2027 for food and 2028 for ingested drugs. January 26, we saw SpaceX's Starship blow up just 8.5 minutes after liftoff. January 17th, the first case of highly pathogenic avian influenza in a commercial poultry operation in Georgia has been confirmed, leading to the suspicion of all in state poultry events. I think a lot of us knew where this was headed. January 19th was a tough day for people who don't know how to survive outside of TikTok, but they were able to breathe again 14 hours later when you know who managed to make it happen. Many people jumped ship and ran to RedNote, an app under Chinese law. I wonder how that'll turn out. Also on the 19th, many people were already beginning to self deport before Trump took office. The 19th was a busy day. Another notable event that day was the video that dropped the alleged egg shaped craft recorded during an alleged UAP retrieval operation. The last event I included for January 19th was Biden becoming a master mason on his last day in office. We made it to January 20th. A winter storm blew into the South. It dropped so much snow. Looks like Louisiana got the most, but there was plenty for everybody.
I can't believe I'm standing in front of the Welcome to Florida sign with about 5 to 6 inches of snow at my feet. I mean, it is just truly unbelievable. I'd never thought in my chasing career, and I've been chasing for 15 years now, that I would ever see this much snow on the ground in the Florida Panhandle.
Donald J. Trump was sworn in as the 47th president without his hand on the Bible. It appears Guy Fawkes' character has one in her hand. I'm sure that means nothing, though, right? Then, in his inaugural speech, he said this.
I was saved by God to make America great again.
He didn't specify which God he was referring to, so I guess we'll have to wait and see which God he really does serve. He got right to work signing executive orders of all kinds. Here are a few of the 118 he signed the first day. On the 21st, Trump announced Project Stargate. 10 data centers are already under construction for this project in Texas and eventually will expand to other states. Trump boasted it would create over 100,000 jobs almost immediately. January 22nd, there were about 1,500 active duty troops deployed to the southern border by Trump's orders. On the 23rd, Trump ordered the declassification of the assassination files for JFK, RFK, and MLK Jr. What about the Epstein files and Black Book? And more importantly, where are all the children? In New York on January 24th, there were actually people who traveled to New York and stood in line to smell this corpse flower because it smells like a corpse when it blooms. Moving on, remember this? 43 research monkeys escaped from a South Carolina facility. Well, on January 25th, all 43 monkeys have been recovered. Can you believe it? Some were missing for more than 2 months, but all 43 were recovered. On January 27th, the U.S. Embassy put out a do not travel alert for certain parts of the southern border due to crime, kidnapping, and IEDs. Then, on the 28th, the scientific community set the doomsday clock to 89 seconds to midnight, the closest ever to human extinction. The Department of Justice was evacuated on the 28th as well.
We've been evacuated out of the Department of Justice building. You can see the people standing on the corners. People over there standing, and people across the street. These are all DOJ employees. What's going on? This happened just right as the afternoon was starting. More details later.
Also on the same day, gunfire was exchanged between cartel members and Border Patrol. On the 29th, the Chinese New Year started, the year of the wooden snake.
Speaking of Satan, this will be one of the biggest years for Satan yet, as we have just entered the year of the wooden snake, the Chinese New Year. And there's quite literally so much that will be revealed this year. But take heed, purposefully. Come on, you guys, none of these people are your friend. But they need you to wake up a little bit for what they have planned. By the way, take a look at these years. Let me know what it makes you think of. The last years of the snake.
Also on the 29th, a Black Hawk crashed into a plane and 67 people were reported perished.
This is Dabu7. Want to share with you guys here some information and maybe some footage you haven't seen yet pertaining to this crash that took place involving the helicopter and the aircraft near Ronald Reagan Airport. And you can see here from this angle, it seems that the helicopter went straight into the aircraft. Then we have the curious case of why was this aircraft, and this is the helicopter, even though it's shaped like a plane, why was it flying erratically and just barely missing all these other flights? Raises big time questions. And normally they show as a helicopter on here, if it's a helicopter, but this time it's showing as a plane for some odd reason. And you can see where it comes down into the fold here right next to the airport, and this is where the crash ends up happening. Coming into frame right here as it zigs back and forth, and then boom.
One last event for the 29th. Meta will pay $25 million to settle the case with Trump over censorship claims. And finishing off the month with another plane crash.
This just happened in Philadelphia. What in the world is going on? We're going to do a really quick montage of a bunch of the flights. Just happened in Alaska about 48 to 72 hours ago. Just happened in California 24 to 48 hours ago. And of course you're aware of the one that just happened that they will not be releasing information about. There's like 5 to 10 planes outside of the United States that have crashed in the last 48 hours.
This was just the first month of 2025. Let me know down in the comments anything I didn't cover. Before I go, I want to leave you with a verse to meditate on this month. Romans 12:9. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil. Cling to what is good. Thanks for watching to the end.